Welcome back. Today is Earth Day, and what better way to celebrate our planet than by growing a beautiful and delicious garden? But if money or space are tight, you can still do it. Karena Poke, garden consultant with Let Us Live, is here with 2 easy hacks to find your green thumb. And Karena,
Yes.
It's so nice to see you.
So nice to see you again. Happy Earth Day!
Happy Earth Day. I ran into Karena at the nice winery where she takes care of their beautiful grounds, and it was great to see you in your natural habitat.
Yes, love it.
And this is such a cool concept because a lot of people, if they're living in an apartment or maybe they have very limited yard space or outdoor space, they think gardening's not for them. But that is not true. You're going to show us how to do it.
I am. Gardening is for everybody, and when you can't go out, you can go up. And today we're going to talk about vertical gardening. So if you're limited in space, then we are going to show you how you can do that on your balcony or on a fence line.
You know I'm going to love this, Karena. So
Yes.
over here we have this shoe organizer.
Yes.
And I was skeptical about this, but now that I see the way you've laid it out, you've essentially created like a hanging wall garden.
Yes, it is a hanging wall garden, and you also save on water because once you water the top, the water is just going to trickle down to everybody else.
Okay, and this is a special type of fabric shoe organizer,
is.
and that's kind of key, right? Because you want it to drain.
You do want it to drain. Soggy roots are like cats. They don't want to be wet. No. And so we want to have it drain, and no, don't use plastic. You want to use a cloth material.
A cloth material. Okay, so if I'm wanting to plant one of these, what are the first steps then?
We are going to get our shoe organizer, and many of us have it, get it at an inexpensive store, and then we're going to get some good compost.
Okay.
We're going to take a spoonful or a shovelful, and we're going to fill each compartment, and then
Okay.
after you fill each compartment, this is perfect for herbs. We really want to focus on herbs or our pollinator plants that are going to attract bees and butterflies, and then we're just going to take one of those plants or one of our herbs and stick it
it out.
inside of our organizer.
Okay, and do you disturb the roots when you
As
plant
little
this?
as possible.
Okay.
We don't want to traumatize
mess
them.
it
As
up.
little as possible.
And when you mention like get a good compost, where should people be finding their good compost soil?
I am a big fan of our extension agencies. So most people have an extension office in their area. If you go, that's where I suggest you buy plants and soil. They are going to provide you something that is best for your area.
Okay, and then in terms of watering, these shots are so beautiful. I mean, look at that. Of course, that's from Pinterest. It's beautiful. So how often are we watering them?
We are going to water them as often as needed. It is not a rule of thumb for everybody. So if it's getting a lot of sunlight, it's going to dry fast. So we're just going to do a finger test. So if it's the first inch or 2 is dry, then that's when we're going to water. If it feels
dry, then we do it.
Yes.
Okay, so moving on then to these ice cube trays. This is very clever, and this method is just to help little seedlings grow that we can then transplant.
Yes, we are going to start our seeds here, and then we're going to either transplant them into a bigger pot to let them grow more, or we're going to just take them and plant them in the ground. This is, when we talk about Earth Day, because we're recycling and reusing, that is really what we want to focus on, is being kind to the planet.
Yeah, amen to that. Okay, so drainage, just like over here, drainage is key, right? So you're drilling holes through the bottom.
So we
of
want to
these?
drill a hole in each one of the cells.
Okay.
Push, there we go. One hole.
Just right through.
One hole. Okay, and then after that, we are going to take our, we want to use sterile soil. And what I mean by sterile soil, nothing has grown here. And the reason that's important is because if you take soil from your yard or something that's grown before, you won't know what's actually growing. If a weed pops up or if another seed pops up, you won't know it's actually what you planted. So start with sterile soil.
Okay.
All right, and then the rule of thumb on planting seeds is never go deeper than 2 times the size of the seed. If you go any deeper, it may not germinate. The sun may not penetrate down to the seed.
So, and that's, I mean, what if the seed is super tiny? Because some seeds are so small you can barely see them.
Lettuce is like, you almost can't touch it. It's just so tiny.
So just barely below the surface of the soil.
Barely below the surface. So we're going to put a little hole there. We're going to drop it.
I see. You put a little hole like using a pencil or something?
Yeah, that's actually perfect.
Okay.
And then you put 1 seed in each hole. And then we're going to...
Very clever.
We're going to pinch the soil close. We're going to just pinch it. There you go.
Okay.
Pinch it covered. And it's always important to know what you've planted. So we've got our labels, and we are going to put a label in each...
It's so true. I'm smiling because every time I plant something, I think I'll remember what I planted, and then of course I never do. So that is a critical step there to label it. Listen, we're tight on time. What else do we need to know, Karena?
And then we're just going to water. Don't forget to water. And this is the final thing, is the final product. It will start growing, and then we can plant it.
And before you know it, your garden will be growing. You'll be ready to go. Karena Poke, thanks so much for stopping by. It's so interesting, and I hope a lot of our viewers take advantage of the tips and grow their own gardens.
Yes, I hope so too. Happy Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day. Come back and see us anytime. If you would like to connect with Karena, you can visit our website, HoustonLife.tv, and click on the Scene on Houston Life section. All right, coming up after the break, a look at what's coming up on Monday's show, including a Hollywood star with a brand new kids film. And as we head to break, let's check in with Mr. Kevin Frazier for a look at what's coming up on Entertainment Tonight. Hi, Kevin.
Derek, tonight on ET, what we know about Bill Murray's bad behavior, why his movie set was shut down, plus Jason Bateman's anti-aging beauty treatments with Paul Rudd. You don't want to miss it. That's tonight at 6:30 right here on KPRC 2. Now, sit tight because Houston Life will be right back.